All right. So we are here. I do need a second because the overlay crashed at the last moment. So why don't you take over the intro here? Well, I have to actually
Absolutely.
fix that.
All right, everybody, welcome back to day 2. This is the Root Invitational Success Pays Challenge. So, as you guys have seen, we've got Root.Drewbie here spawning in the northeast. Here's the Red Terran, and in the southwest, his teammate Root.Minigun, the blue Protoss. This is the round of 8, guys. We are down into the final 8 here, the best of the best, going into the day 2 here, the Root Success Pays Invitational. Everybody that's made it this far has already earned cash. That's the beauty of this tournament, basically. Any win gets you money. Getting out a round of 32 gets you money. So both players have earned some money in their pockets, and we're still got more to give away. We have some more sweet matches lined up, including obviously the grand finals, which is going to be all kinds of sexy. And I think Ro8 wants to tell you about one of our sponsors.
Yeah, this matchup for the first round of 8 quarterfinals match is brought to you by Justin TV's fantastic variety of streaming channels. It's not limited to just Zerg, Terran, Protoss, you know, the typical StarCraft 2 streams. Can't forget the random players. They get some love too. But everything else that's on Justin TV, from live sports to sport to music, multinational news outlets, Justin TV has anything you can think of being streamed pretty much constantly. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Check out what Justin TV has to offer and help support a company who is helping us with this fantastic tournament. And, you know, just a little extra aside, this is the second tournament they've helped us out for, so a little bit of extra love over there to Justin TV, because they've been really excellent so far. And like you said, we're here on Xel'Naga Caverns. We got Root.Drewbie versus Root.Minigun. We got the showdowns of the Roots here. Terran versus Protoss. I know we saw a lot of that yesterday, but you know, this is going to be a great match. Really interested to see how this is going. And I was just saying a little bit in the pre-show rambling. These two were having quite a lot of fun in the private Root channel, trash talking each other in the channel, saying how badly they were going to own each other. So I really want to see what the two players actually have planned for this match.
Yeah, Drewbie took it old school, actually, last time he faced off against a Protoss component in the round of 16, I believe. We saw Drewbie do a Mass Reaper build, very beta-esque, and they were talking about it before in the chat just briefly, and Minigun was wondering how you counter Mass Reapers. He said he has to leave a Colossus or 2 in his base, and Drewbie said, that's a good idea, you should do that, and so it looks like no predictions just yet. Drewbie obviously opening up with a tech lab there. He is going to get concussive shells and 2 Marauders queued up. Second Rex is producing a reactor, so tech lab reactor opening for Drewbie, pretty standard for him. Only 1 gas for our Terran player right now, so he's probably going to look to get an expansion, I would assume, pushing into Minigun not too quick. Minigun getting 3 gates up, so he's playing it very, very safe as well. Sentry for Minigun coming out, so I'd love to see Drewbie do that Mass Reaper again, but I don't think it's going to work against his teammate Minigun. I know these guys play against each other a ton, and they're best friends, so it's going to be really tough to try to metagame your opponent here. It's going to come down to just solid skills from both sides to win this.
Yeah, that's the thing about that build, though, is it's really tough. You have to kind of really orient your build around stopping it from the start of the game. Because, like you're saying, you know, Drewbie was saying, if you leave a Colossus behind, okay, yes, please. That's kind of what he wants to do.
Exactly.
Because if you leave a Colossus behind, he's still going to kill probes, which is what he's after, and your army will be 1 Colossus weaker. So his Marauders that are pushing up the front will do more damage, and he'll kill more probes.
Exactly.
So honestly, it's actually really tough to stop. You have to just have fantastic micro to be able to shut it down. And Drewbie's really good at those split attacks. He's been doing it since the beginning of the beta. That's why they're called Drewbie drops, by the way.
Absolutely.
When people drop everywhere on the map. So it's just a really good strategy oriented for his style of play. We're not quite seeing it this game, but it's not completely ruled out. I also like to say that I like what Minigun's doing here by splitting up his gateways. If this was any other map. Because, like, you know, the idea of moving your gateways around so they can't all be hit by 1 scan is solid. But if you center your camera on mine for a second, if you put your scan right in the center of my screen, it hits the entire base anyway on this really small main here on Xel'Naga Caverns. So it's a great idea in theory, but this map just kind of cancels it out.
I think he just does it by habit now. It's definitely something I've seen Minigun. He'll spread those gateways around as much as he can. Interesting proxy pylon out there. Drewbie has not found it yet behind the gold. He put down a manor pylon, but not really going to be able to deny the Terran. Obviously, Drewbie's going to construct that command center on the high ground anyway. So getting a pylon down there, not too important. But you can see Minigun is continuing to poke in there. See that Drewbie has not thrown down his command center just yet, or hasn't made it over there yet. SCV from Drewbie is going to be denied on the ramp as well. Minigun getting his Nexus underway. It is half complete. So both players on about the same timing. Hallucination coming out from Minigun. I really like the use of that now. That Hallucination got that little bit of a buff, turning down the build time, as well as making the units, I think, cost a little less. So really, really good way to get some free scouting in, not have to get an early observer or rush to observer. You can get that Phoenix out, and then you can continue to produce fake Immortals or fake Colossus to mix in with your own groups. And you can't argue that focusing fire is easy at that point when you have half of the units are fake in the army.
Interesting fact, hallucinated mortals still have hardened shields and can be used to negate tank damage. So even though they still take 20 damage, because they take double damage as a hallucination, that's less damage than they normally take from a tank shot.
Exactly.
So the hardened shield still works from that hallucinate in that situation. If you're looking to break a tank line late game versus a Terran and you have that hallucinate ability and some extra energy, I mean, throwing down force fields versus a tank line isn't going to help anyways. So might as well throw out a couple hallucinated immortals, try and soak some of that damage. It works. Cute little trick you can throw out there. Might be something he's going to be possibly thinking about if this game goes really long, but for now, just going to open up the very standard hallucinated Phoenix just to take a look around. He has a pretty good idea of what Drewbie's doing, because he did see that bunker early on, as that means, oh, you're expanding. But he wants to look and see how Drewbie's transitioning out of it. He does see the timing on this factory, which is really nice. That's one of those things when the Terran opponent goes for a fast expansion, is when exactly are they going to get that factory? How long are they going to stay on bio,
Drewbie just got 4 probes actually in the natural of, he had 5 Marines camped out in the tasteless secret hallway. He picked up 6 probe kills with these 5 Marines, making all the way 7 probe kills. Making all the way into the main there, Minigun, and denying mining there for a few seconds. So Minigun pulls the entire army back from the middle, takes the pressure right off of Drewbie, and then is forced to reset his mining there. Drewbie scouts out the Twilight Council as well, and gets right into the base there of Minigun. So he has a full scout there with just 5 Marines coming through the secret hallway there. So really, really great timing push there from Drewbie.
Yeah, really nice job, just to get some scouting information like we were talking about earlier. Even like if he hadn't killed some probes, which he did, he got into the base, he got a look around, he saw everything. And that's really important at this point in the game, to be able to do that with a unit as opposed to throwing down a scan. Because his expansion just came out. Every mule right now is really important, because it's going to be more bio on the field, maybe another barracks. But we do see a warp prism on the way from Minigun.
Yeah, interesting.
This is something that has been leaking over from the European server. A lot of the European Protoss players really like this warp prism to allow some pressure. You know, allowing for sort of the split attacks that you don't see too often from Protoss players. So if he can make effective use of this, he could do a good job of harassing Drewbie, who's just sort of sitting in a defensive position at the moment.
Yeah, Drewbie's got Ghost coming out. Ooh, 3 hallucinated Colossus. Very nice. So Minigun's probably going to try to poke here a little bit, or at least when the Scout Factory passes over, going to trip Drewbie right out. Where did those come from, he's going to be saying. So we'll see if he picks up the fact that they're hallucinated or not, but he does get a
scanned them.
Yeah, BM thinking that he actually has Colossus. So Drewbie does know it. Didn't see the Warp Prism, though. The Warp Prism is heading to east point of Drewbie's base. Drewbie does have a turret there with a trapped SCV, so this SCV is going to repair forever for him. And it looks like Drewbie is actually setting up a drop of his own, loading up 4 Marauders and 1 Medevac. Second Medevac just kind of sitting around home base there.
Interesting placement of this Warp Prism if you look and see where it is actually set up.
Yeah, I wonder what
you might actually warp in some units loaded in, then fly into the base. Just to clarify for people who are not 100% certain, detection does reveal a hallucinated unit, that it is a hallucinated unit. So if you're wondering why we're making a big deal out of that, he does actually know those are fake after dropping that scan. So he was kind of freaking out, oh my god, you have 3 Colossus, that doesn't seem right, he dropped the scan. Uh-oh, dropping the main. 4 Marauders going straight for the power on both of these pylons.
We'll get the pylons for sure.
Oh, and he'll get those 2 zealots that were warping in, then just fly away after unpowering 2 gateways.
He gets
Nicely
a great push into the front natural there now.
Yeah, so he is actually going to use that slight overreaction from Minigun to the entire army to take the Nexus. Great EMPs going off on all the sentries as well, so there's no force fields here from Minigun. He really needed those force fields or Storm to hold that off. He didn't have either, so Minigun has to actually completely concede.